Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Fahd Dawood. I talk about Dubai real estate, international real estate, your life and my life, and our path to financial bliss, right? So, regardless of what is the current situation with regards to the sea outbreak, what we're seeing in Dubai is a ton of people still calling for things or properties that they feel are priced at bargains, right? So, bargain prices. I'm going to show you something very unique. If you look at just this, right? This is the local property portal. I've got a deal that's really special. It's priced really well. I've got tons of people trying to call because they just feel that the price is super attractive, which just makes sense for them to make the investment right now. Now, I'm not trying to big up the market. I'm just trying to state a few facts. Obviously, we are in a certain situation where sellers are going to face some serious problems. Those who've been holding up on their prices, now there's going to be some pain, right? And I don't wish bad for them. It's just the realities of the situation. Okay, I want to check out on some of the questions that I received. So, I do get questions by WhatsApp, in the comment sections, people reaching out to me for things that they intend to do with their property today or things that they want to do in terms of buying a property in the near future. So one such question that I received that I felt that deserves for me to get into some detail. Now, I haven't spoken to this client in person myself, but he reached out to me. He said, listen, your content's good, it's great, it's genuine, it's nice. Thank you very much for the compliments. But the question or the overarching message was essentially this. I'm looking to purchase a townhouse in area 1 or area 2. So area 1 or area 2. And I am looking for a bargain price. So let's keep these 4 things in mind, right? So he's looking for either in area 1 or area 2. He's looking for a bargain price and he's looking to make that purchase in mid-2021. So we're right now mid-2020. So about 1 year from now, and he caveats that by saying, look, I'm looking at where the economy is going to be, where the pricing is going to be, and where a few minor personal things of his, which could be maybe some financial things that need to come in place before he can pull the trigger and make the purchase, which is fair, which is fine, right? So let's take a look at these 4 things. Area 1, area 2. For me, something that really stood out was the word bargain, right? He's looking for a serious bargain, right? Who wouldn't like a bargain, right? So if you were looking to purchase something that's worth about 3 million dirhams, but you could get it at a bargain, half price today, 1 million, 1.5, you probably pull the trigger today, poof, and buy, right? So, and then lastly, he says he's looking where the economy is going to be, and he's looking to manage a few personal things, which is fine. I didn't get into what it was, but that's his personal matter. Maybe if we work together, I'll understand a few other things about him, right? For me, the biggest thing that stands out is looking for a bargain. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to help him answer a few questions and help anybody else who's going through the same process. So maybe if you're looking at, hey, should I enter? Should I buy? Oh, by the way, something important to mention, this is for him a weekend home. So he's based in another city. He likes to come to Dubai, so it's going to be like a weekend home, right? Okay, fine. So for others who are looking or in a similar situation, should I buy now? Should I buy today? Should I wait for a little while? Where's the economy going to go, etc., etc. Here's my 2 cents on the whole scenario and how if I was working together with you one-on-one, would take you from step A to step Z, whereas I or somebody from my team manages the entire process, saves you time, makes it efficient, and essentially saves you a ton of money. And this is how the process essentially goes, okay? The first thing that I do with all my clients is I sit down with them either on a phone or a video call, and we go through something called a strategy consultation. Now, if you're an end user, the consultation takes a different form. If you are an investor who's just going to rent out the property, the strategy consultation is going to be geared towards very different questions. Now, they're all very friendly. There's nothing to be scared about, but it helps me understand what your plans are for your property, your financial income gains, and how I can add value to help you achieve them and devise a customized plan for you. Now, in this scenario, he's looking for a personal home. Now, I don't know if he's married or not, but when you're married, the spouse, your wife, if you've got parents living with you, your parents, if you have kids who are old enough to make some influence on the decision, everybody kind of comes in with their input, and everybody's input needs to be respected and at some stage addressed, right? So let's assume he's a young couple, just newly married perhaps, maybe has a few kids who are all young. I don't know about it, personal situation, but this is essentially what happens, okay? Depending on where you're from, your background, did I tell you that he's looking for townhouses? We would look at, through the questionnaire, I would discover a lot of peculiarities or things that he likes and things that he doesn't like, things that his spouse likes and doesn't like, right? So sometimes people want a closed kitchen. Sometimes they want an open kitchen. Sometimes they want the garden space to be ample so that they can easily sit and the kids can play around. Sometimes they hate grass, right? And they hate paying the water bill in Dubai. Sometimes they want absolute privacy, which means a single row villa or property, which means essentially that there should be nobody behind them, right? Sometimes they want to overlook a golf course. Sometimes they want to overlook a park. Now, when you take all these things into account, you start recognizing what are the kind of properties that would meet not just the area needs, but also intricately what's built inside. And essentially, you need to be able to know this for you to efficiently go out and search for the property that meets your needs. Now, here's a mistake that a lot of buyers make, okay? They essentially do not, and I'm not going to blame anyone because I don't do that myself, right? If I'm, for instance, buying a car, sometimes I'll go into the market and just go to several showrooms to look at what's available. I might not have a very strong disposition towards one particular thing. And this is what property buyers do. They don't have all their requirements written on a piece of paper because they've not had anybody direct and guide them as to what are the different things that they should be looking at, okay? And as and when they go and look at a property, they start assessing their own emotional needs and start thinking, oh yeah, this is what I like. Oh yeah, this is something that I would want. Oh yeah, this room size is what I need, right? Now, all of this can be easily addressed if you just talk to somebody who knows what they're doing and guides you through the process, right? Asks you these questions up front before you go out there, start looking at different properties, okay? So essentially speaking, the strategy consultation, once that's taken care of, we have on a piece of paper a 5-point, sometimes 7 points, strategy action plan that can then be implemented and taken to the market. Now, based on this, as I said, he's targeting area 1 and area 2. What I might do, okay, essentially speaking, is give him access to area 3, area 4, and area 5. Generally speaking, I would not be personally doing my job. Now, I appreciate your desire for area 1 and area 2, and maybe that's where we're going to buy, and that's maybe where we're going to get a bargain. But I would not, in my honest conscience, be doing my role as an advisor properly if I didn't show you, at least discuss area 3, area 4, area 5. Now, a lot of salespeople, a lot of agents are going to say, hey, listen, don't confuse the customer, don't confuse the consumer by giving them 5 options. I personally think that you're going to be making a large investment, the largest in your life after your wife. You deserve to have the option and the knowledge to at least know that you're getting to the best informed decision. Now, I'm going to talk about why I might show them area 3, 4, and 5. Area 3, I might show them, and I'll be very honest and frank with you, okay? This is my opinion, because area 1 and area 2 that he chose and he talked to me about, the designs are incredibly nice, but perhaps not contemporary, okay? Area 3 is a townhouse, villa, upper scale luxury community where there are deals to be had, especially in the next 2 3 years perhaps, which has a very contemporary modern look. Okay, now here's the thing, something that I would like to highlight for you, for myself, for all the people who are out there investing in townhouses and villas. Okay, this is something that I have recently learned by younger clients that have been coming to Dubai. You know that the chateau look, like the palace in Versailles in France, or the chateaus in France. All these places is have these old grandeur looking houses, which used to be the most popular look, and now most villa communities or townhouses that were built in the last 10-15 years in Dubai kind of carry that look. And hey, I love that look. Nothing wrong with that look. But what I'm seeing is there's a lot of people who are preferring the contemporary new look. Now, it's something unique, and it's something that took me a little bit of a while to wrap my brain around. Why do I say that? Okay, let me explain. You know, when a new car model comes out, I don't know if you all remember when BMW introduced that new car model with that huge big trunk. Like, I don't want to be crude, but that trunk was huge. And then I saw that BMW, the 7 Series or the 5 Series, going around town. And the moment I looked at it, I was like, kind of looks funny. I don't really like it, right? Except that you start looking at it for 5, 6, 7, 8 months, maybe a year, and you start feeling, hey, listen, that looks nicer than the older model. Okay, that's what's happened to me over the last 2 years. Okay, when the new contemporary design villas and townhouses were being introduced in Dubai, I kind of frowned upon them. I said, these look funny. What I'm finding now is a lot of people are coming to town to Dubai and asking for those designs, and the older design, I think they're going to be struggling. Okay, now I'm not a design person, so who am I to say what design's better and what design's worse? All I do know is I'm getting more inquiries from people who want the newer contemporary look. So I would explain this to this gentleman. I say, look at Area 3, because the contemporary design might, if you're looking to sell in 5 to 10 years, be more in demand. Hey, but if your wife likes the older design, that's perfectly fine. Area 4 might be the cheaper townhouses area and worth looking at if you're looking to save some money and you don't mind living in an area which is not fully developed today but will be in a short while, right? Area 5 is going to be in a completely different location, right? Which exists in Dubai and closer to the prime areas like Burj Khalifa, okay? Like 10 minutes, like area 1, 2, 3, 4 might be 25 minutes from Burj Khalifa. Area 5 might be about 7 to 10 minutes, right? And I'm going to pitch that. I'm going to explain, like, when you're buying a property in a prime location or closer to prime location, you can technically, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but you might be able to preserve capital during difficult times, okay? And, real estate's a cyclical asset. It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. So if you're in an area that's closer to the prime areas, you might be able to save some money, okay? Last point that I'd like to raise, right? So you're looking at investing in about a year's time from now. Now, I think that's great. This works in general when you're looking to make a purchase that you could enter into the market. So technically, essentially speaking, this person has already entered the market, right? So he's already reached out to me. He's already put his foot down to touch the water, to ask me a few questions, get in touch with me, which is good, right? This doesn't work in the rental market, because in the rental market, if you call me and say, listen, could you have somebody from your team help me? I want to move in 3 months' time. I'm going to say, look, pricing and availability in 3 months' time is going to be very difficult and different. But in the sale market, it works. However, what you need to do is you need to really get more than just a toe in. I would rather say step into the market with a clear intention to make the purchase, However, be prepared. And why do I now come to the most important point in the last, okay? You're looking for a bargain, okay? Now, real estate is a lagging asset. Essentially speaking, the pricing that gets reflected on the stock market or the gold markets. Real estate is a lagging asset, means that price comes into the real estate pricing. The real estate sellers and buyers take that pricing into account in a lagging form. It's like, I always give this example. Imagine a big ship tanker at sea. It doesn't make a turn like this, right? Stocks are like speedboats. If they want to make a turn, they can cut the engine, make the turn quickly, pretty fast, right? Whereas a big tanker with massive tonnage on top, it goes like this, and if it needs to make a turn, it's going to be super slow, and then it makes the turn. That's how the real estate market works. It's a lagging asset, therefore prices are reflected in real estate assets, not in real time, but there's a lag to 3 to 6 months, sometimes up to a year. Now you need to take into account that. So, hey, that might work in your favor, because if you're waiting 1 year's time, hey, maybe the prices are at the bottom, right? Maybe prices are not at the bottom, right? So I personally think that real estate market's going to start reflecting prices in about 3 to 6 months from the lockdown period. We're at the 3-month stage where the lockdown kind of started. I think March 20th was when Dubai started facing the lockdown. April 20th, May 20th, June 20th will be the 3-month stage. We're coming into the summer bit. 3 to 6 months is where there's going to be a ton of activity in terms of knee-jerk reactions, okay? People are kind of still scared. The mood is still somber. They're not sure where things are going to go. They're still thinking, oh, we might have an autumn, they call it a surge or something. Where will prices go? I've just shared with my community by email an article about, to the people who doubt Dubai and always come up and say Dubai is finished. It's not really. Dubai has seen cycles and things are going to be okay. But there are going to be people who are going to be scared, okay? Now let me address the situation about getting a bargain. You can either get it from the developers or the resale market. Here's what's going to happen on the developer side, okay? I'm going to just be very blunt to you. Developers right now, from what I've seen, are in scare mode, okay? They're in that scaredy mode, okay? What you might have the option over the next 3 to 6 months is go in and pick up real deals, right? So developers are trying to perhaps just meet and bridge with some cash inflow. So you might be able to make some offers and get great deals out. What's soon going to happen is the developers are going to think of new ways to not have to sell properties at distressed prices, right? Because you got to remember, the developer has a certain price. Take, for instance, if you were building a car and that car cost you, let's say, $1,000, at some stage, if you've got 100 cars, okay, and then you need to sell all of them, and you need now cash flow to be able to feed your family, for instance, pay your employees, you might sell maybe about 20 to 25 cars at below market price. So below market price, sorry, below your cost in some instances. So if it costs you $1,000, you might get rid of 25 cars at $850. But then once you've got, let's say for 25 and 850, you've got like, $20,000 odd in cash in your kitty that says that you can last a year or 2 years with this amount of cash, pay the salaries, do what's necessary. The rest of them, you're going to think of new plans or new ways to get them out there, right? So now what you're going to say is, look, I'll sell the rest of the 75 cars, but the plan's different. I'm going to give you, Mr. Consumer, an option to rent this car for 2 years from me for $100 each year, and then I'm going to allow you to purchase this car from me for $1,000, so that you're going to get that $100 each year for 2 years, and then you're going to be able to sell that for $1,000. So what it allows you, or what it allows the consumer to do, is have the option on the car but not have to pay the full amount. And this is what some developers used to do. They would give you rent to own options, because at some stage, just selling below cost price is not going to make sense to them. There's a ton of cheap money coming into the market. The Federal Reserves like put trillions into the market. More money has been put into the market in the US than the entire global financial crisis just in the few weeks leading up or after the lockdown. What that money is going to do is that money is going to trickle down into the global markets, right? Which is then going to cause inflationary, maybe false inflationary pressure on assets. So 3 to 6 months, you see prices going down, you can get deals. 6 months to 1 year, maybe price further goes down. The 1 to 1 year and a half year, maybe price start going up. I can't call that, I can't state that, but you got to keep in mind the developers going to come up with different strategies. Be in the game to take benefit from the different strategies that they come up with. The second category you can buy a townhouse from is from the resale market. Same thing is going to happen, okay? There are developers who are now delivering and handing over townhouses, in particular the communities he talked to me about. I got a friend of mine who I worked with in 2015 very closely. He's an agent. I sold his property. We invest together. We've run seminars together. I was talking to me on Thursday and he said, listen, Fahd, there's a property available for 1.1 million dirhams approximately, and or 1.80 million dirhams. And he said the seller is going to let it go for less than that because the price that he has to pay, or the balance he has to pay the developer, which is one of the top developers in Dubai, is almost like that's what has to be paid to the developer. He's willing to walk away. The cost of the purchase price of the townhouse is 2.2 million dirhams. So you're essentially getting a deal at half, right? So what's going to happen the next 3 to 6 months? Those things are going to happen. People are leaving. People don't want to take on the liability of the property. They don't want to go to the bank. They're unsure. You can step in and pick up that deal, but you got to be engaged. You got to be in the market. Again, 3 to 6 months, maybe about 7 months, you're going to get a lot of resale deals as well. You just need to be in there to be able to pick up assets that make sense for you in terms of what you're looking for, what the wife is looking for, and if it's meeting your bargain. And obviously, last but not the least, you should have the necessary funds available to be able to make that purchase. So just a quick recap. What did I talk about? Listen, the gentleman is looking at area 1, area 2. That's fine. That's great. What I do is generally go through a consultation, friendly questionnaire, ask you exactly what would float your boat, right? What are the intricacies of the outside of the property that you need? What are the insides? My team is going to be then able to help you both efficiently and save you time and money, right? And then I propose you 3 other areas that work for you perhaps. Maybe we pick up deals and then we sit, hang tight, right? It's kind of like you lay the bait out there in the market and wait for the deal to approach or be apparent for you to pounce and grab it. Okay, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon. Look, if you hit the subscribe button but don't hit the bell icon, you're not going to be informed of new videos coming out. You're going to miss out on some valuable content I'm dropping here, yo. And if you can hit the subscribe button, it's going to help me get to my 1 million. I can get my play button so my kids can be impressed by me, okay? Ciao for now. Let the questions keep coming in. I love answering them. I hope it's of value and I hope it helps you. Bye. See you on the flip side.